I was born with cerebral palsy, and back when I was born in '64, they really didn't know a lot about the cerebral palsy, but so there wasn't a lot that you could do. I was pretty much relegated to a life that wasn't really a life. By the time I was 3, I couldn't do anything a normal person could do. I couldn't sit up. My arms were all twisted. My legs were twisted. 80% of the people that have cerebral palsy never make it to 30. So even at the age of 5, they were saying to my family, you know, you might as well get rid of him because he's going to die anyway. And my brain worked fine, so I understood that, hey, everybody else is writing me off, and if I don't do something about this, I'm going to just be another statistic. And I was really driven not to fall into that. You're going to die before 30. So when I got into high school, and of course I've had 49 surgeries up to this point, 49 surgeries, 3 comas, been through a lot of things, numerous years of therapy, years in the hospital, and realizing that, you know, this is the only body you get, and how precious life is. I had to do everything I could because I was already written off by the physician. So around 17, I began to train, began to work out to try to get myself out of the braces and get myself as mobile as possible, knowing how important it was to want to have a life as normal as everybody else. No matter what, the key is that you lose when you stop trying. Now, every surgery I could have said, you know, that's it, I want to give up, I quit, I'm tired of trying. But that wouldn't sit well with me. I didn't go through all these things not to be motivation and an encouragement to others. And what you've got to do is realize it's not about trying to be have a championship physique or be someone famous. You're blessed if you can get up the stairs when you couldn't, if you can spend 10 minutes with your children playing when you couldn't, if you can walk out and get the mail without breathing heavy, and it's about having a better quality of life. When I went to the gym at first, I realized, you know, I've got to do this on my own, and I can remember being carried down the stairs at the local YMCA. And, you know, it's tough because younger guys will see the handicapped guy in the corner and nobody really wanted to talk to me or spend the time. And so initially it was very difficult. I remember I couldn't even put any weight on the leg press. And it actually took a month for me to get my feet up on the leg press, to get enough flexibility because I was so spastic with the cerebral palsy. But over 4 years of dedicated training every day, stretching every day, doing cardio every day, I definitely was able to get rid of the braces, which were up to my waist. I put on 60 pounds of muscle tissue, and within another 2 years after that, I was competing in bodybuilding here in California. So I was actually nominated for Bodybuilder of the Year in 1990 and was beat out by one of the top pros. The role that fitness has played in my life has been so key because the doctors always say, you know, John, if you weren't as fit as you were, you wouldn't have survived this. You wouldn't have survived that. You wouldn't have overcome this. And I think the heart condition, my heart condition being strong, my cardiovascular system being able to take stress, I was able to endure operations that should have killed me. And I don't think people realize that they've been so blessed to have a body that works right and to let it go. You guys have a gift that I only dream about every day. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to take what God's given me and do the absolute best that I can. I think it's so important to realize that everything is a gift. What you've been given, don't take it for granted because there are no absolutes in life. And what I tried to do is not look at the fact that, oh, I have crutches and this person's saying this or that person's saying that. And, you know, there's a process that you go through. And I think it's so important to maintain a positive attitude, not looking at this as, oh, I've got 12 weeks of this. Just sit back and say, I'm going to make each meal count. I'm going to make each workout count. I'm going to make each moment with my family count, because if you don't take care of yourself, it's very hard to be a blessing to others. And if I would have given up way back when I used to watch Jack LaLanne at 4 years old with my arms twisted, my legs twisted, couldn't sit up, drooling out of my mouth, and just people, we have to deal with him. But in my mind and heart, I said, one day I'm going to have a body like that, no matter what anybody says. So it's not a looking at the whole forest and becoming overwhelmed. It's looking at one tree and making one chop at a time. And if you can do that, over time, your body will in fact improve. You don't let other people dictate the way your life's going to be. And I think when you don't focus on the circumstances, but you focus on the potential of what you could be. And I've always had in the back of my mind that a champion never looks at what he's going through, only what he's going to. And you have to maintain a positive attitude day in, day out. You have to believe that you can in fact achieve. You have to be a prisoner of hope. And if you can't do that, you're going to have problems. So what you have to do is take the curse and reverse it, and turn every negative into a positive. And if you're thinking positive, things are going to drift in that direction. If you're thinking negative, it's going to manifest in your body. Believe me, you're talking to a guy that spent over 5 years of his life in the hospital, not counting rehab situations. That's another 7 years. Now, for me to become a champion, lose it, get back in shape, lose it, this has happened at least 15 times in my life. But I'm not going to allow the bumps in the road to knock the wheels off, break the axle. The thing is that it's what's inside of you that gives you value, not all the little things that people say. So you've got to stop focusing on all the externals and realize that God's got a good plan for you, and He's given you wisdom and discernment. And you've got the place that I have been for the last 19 months. I was in a SNF, which is a skilled nursing facility. Prior to that, I had developed multiple pulmonary embolisms, that can be lethal. That's where you have blood clots in your chest. They actually were 4 inches from my heart for months and months and months. So I was given so many drugs, so many diuretics, tons of Coumadin, heparin, every kind of drug you can think of, which brought my body weight up to 217 pounds, 70 of that being fluid. I couldn't move. I couldn't digest food correctly. I had gone into a coma, and then I died. They brought me back with a defibrillator. And, I made a decision right there. If I've come back and I've gone through all this, and if I have to suffer, then I want this to mean something. So if I've gone through all this to motivate just one person and encourage them, then it's worth it. Now I've got another opportunity. Fortunately, Clark was able to get me out of the facility that I was in. So now I've got an opportunity to take a moment of my time, which I do willingly, to just encourage you, motivate you, and make you realize that you are blessed with a body that works. And if you apply the principles that Clark gives you and you utilize the supplements correctly, you're going to be better than you ever were before. What I want everybody to understand is you guys don't have crutches, you don't have wheelchairs, you don't have 49 surgeries, edema, blood clots, and all these things that are impeding your progress. And what you do have to have is a positive mental attitude. You've been given a body that works right, so please, I'm begging you to take care of it. If you can get yourself to where you can function better, then you can apply those principles to others, help them, encourage them, and just keep paying it down the line. And that's what it's all about. When you can play with your kids more, when you can run up and down those stairs, when you're not exhausted after work, then we've all won. I think that's the most important thing, because after all the time I've spent in convalescent homes, it's my desire that none of you end up there. If you take care of yourselves now, it's going to manifest itself down the road, and that is so crucially important. You don't want to be 55 and 60 in a place where you have to take tons of medication, you can't function correctly, and you're at the every whim of other people, and your life is gone. your life will be spent in a room that is 12 by 12, probably with another patient that's screaming or yelling or, you know, has physical maladies or mental maladies, and that is no kind of life. And like I said, I've just come out of 19 months of that, and I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to be before you, to encourage you, to try to help you so that you can help yourself, help the ones you love, and help others.